in case you needed it.
Oh, I need my notes. VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 777, recorded on 4/4/2026.
Hello, and welcome to the 777th edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 610th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I'm TJ Denzer.
I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry and a gaming flashback.
All right, we'll see if Scott pops up in this episode, but we got to start anyway. It's Friday, and we got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, DJ, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Xenonauts 2. Do you know about this at all?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's from a group called Golden Hawk Interactive. It's a XCOM-like, and I mean like the original XCOM 94. This is the second, obviously, in the series. I hear from people that the first one was like basically a 1-to-1 rip of XCOM 94. This one,
yes.
This one like ups the ante a little bit. Like they go to more of a, well, for one, they have a rotatable camera in this one, so you can actually.
By the way, for those who don't know, this game has very 1990 graphics.
Yes,
1990s.
you have like it's the classic XCOM style where like an alien invasion is happening, and you are the secret organization that is trying to get the world's attention to fight back. And like the game relies on the global map where you have to keep the economy in check, build your base, respond to threats, and keep the trust of nations. And then when something comes up, you have to send soldiers boots to the ground to take on missions, be it killing enemies or recovering.
That's what XCOM 2 lacks. The first XCOM, and I mean the Sid Meier series. The first one actually had you having to keep the trust of nations. This one does not. I mean, the XCOM 2 did not. It was basically everything's been taken over anyway, so you don't have to worry about other nations. You just have to contact them. So this is actually going back to the fact that you have to make sure the nations are happy and don't panic.
They do some interesting things with that here too, because like each region of the world has.
In this game, yeah.
They have agents that you can that if you have enough influence points, you can recruit them to your side. But sometimes if you take too long, then they get taken over by invasion forces, and then you have to kill them, and then they have to be replaced by another person that then you can recruit. Yeah. So like using those influence points early to get a guy is like kind of crucial in some instances, because having to spend them twice to kill the guy and then get the new guy is a big waste. And it's worth noting that like when an agent is under enemy control, it causes the panic meter of the world to go up faster. And if panic reaches the top, then doomsday happens and you lose.
Yeah. Do you know the other XCOM type game that's been popular lately?
What's that?
Menace.
We haven't heard of that one.
You haven't heard of Menace? So Menace is another XCOM game. Came out 2 months ago. And instead of having individuals, you have groups, right? You have people who are leading their own little squads. And it's more realistic in terms of bullets and guns and all that stuff. You should check it out. I'm not a fan because it has some things that I'm not really... I don't know. There's something that's missing about it, but there's a lot of people who really, really like it. And you have to outfit your squad leader. Oh, yeah. One of the things is that some of the things are just broken. Like there's some things that, you have no reason not to have, and then everything else gets ignored. So they have this balance. It's in early access. But check out Menace. You might find it very interesting.
I will say that Xenonauts 2 is pretty well put together. One of my other favorite things that they're doing with the campaign is that it doesn't like start with the invasion. It starts with the threat of invasion, and you're kind of building up your forces and gaining the trust of people. And then in the middle, like the aliens stop messing around and go full scale mask off, and you have to like actively engage against them. And then by the end, it's a full scale war, and whatever nations you weren't able to fully get to your side fall off, and you have to like fight for what's left.
I just realized I could best describe Menace as XCOM if it had sex with Jagged Alliance.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have a look at it probably afterwards, especially if it's in early access, because I want to see where they're going with that.
It looks really nice. Unlike Xenonauts, this one is a little more. I won't say it's super graphics, but I would say it's like Jagged Alliance 3 graphics.
Yeah, Xenonauts 2 kind of goes for a Fallout. I would say it's close to Fallout 2 style.
It looks like an Amiga game.
Yeah, and I do like that returning camera because like in the first game you didn't even have that because it was very close to XCOM, the original XCOM, where it didn't have a turning camera. And when an enemy was behind a building, you just had to like look for the red outline. I like being able to actually see the battlefield from all angles. It's very nice.
Yeah, just look at the Steam page for Menace. You might find it intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Another game is Mars Tactics that's coming out. I don't know anything about it. And also, I almost forgot about this. Warhammer 40k Mechanicus 2 is coming out.
Oh, is that a strategy game?
Yeah, it's tactical. Tactical strategy in the Warhammer universe. So there's always going to be a fans for that.
Yep.
But yeah, that reminds me. Maybe I should play the Gears of War XCOM game, Gears Tactics again. That was really fun, and I never really finished it.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you play anything else?
Oh no, I was waiting for the next thing.
As for me, it's been mostly Slay the Spire 2. And I'm trying to remember if there's another game that came out that caught my attention. Because there's some games that are coming out on early. Oh yeah, so I've been playing. You'll love this. A lot of Microsoft Bubble.
Huh.
So what that is, it's Bubble Bobble. Basically, that's it, with a few tweaks, but it's basically Bubble Bobble. And it's really fun. I've been doing try and get the highest score possible, and it's one of those games like Minesweeper in which you have 10 minutes. I'll just do this for a second. I also tried Nova Roma. It's an early access, and I can see where it's going. I like it. It's just a bit janky, and I'll probably check it out later. But everybody's been really looking forward to Nova Roma. As maybe an alternative to Anno Pax Romana. Because those two games are doing two different things.
Yeah.
And I also played Hosey. It's a tiny little, Unpacked, right? That's Hosey.
Yes. Yeah.
But unlike Unpacked, you can place anything anywhere. It doesn't really care. The only problem I have with it is it's a very short game for $15. And I know a lot of people love it, but they wish there was more to it. So hopefully there'll be DLC for it. The graphics are gorgeous, though, and so is the music. I have to say that about it. Other than that, I really haven't played much else. Like I said, my time has been occupied by Slay the Spire 2. If I have any free time, you know what? Oh, wait, I forgot. And this is so stupid I completely forgot it because maybe I wanted to forget it. I also played MLB The Show 26.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
I hear. Yeah.
It's dull as dishwater. They didn't do anything to Road to the Show. And it doesn't know baseball. Like, if I bunt and the fielder throws to second and doesn't get the guy out, it's not a fielder's choice. I still got to bunt,
Huh.
Or if I take on 3-0, that's not a bad take. It's never a bad take to 3-0. Even if they gave me the green light, it's never a bad idea to take on 3-0. It's just these games, they want Diamond Dynasty, they want all these other live service crap, and it's stealing from the single player experience. I tried doing the league version and it sucked. I just can't. I will say that MLB 2K26 just went on Game Pass, so I'm going to start trying that a bit, and I'll see how much it sucks. And the thing is, at least I'm not paying money for it.
That's a bummer. It doesn't seem like sports games are getting better anytime soon.
Not even Out of the Park Baseball 20 Out of Park. It's gotten worse too because it has its own version of live service. Marcus Heinsohn is a friend of mine. Left 3 years ago, and the Korean company that owns it's been going down, 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 down in quality. So I don't even have my baseball sims to play with. It's depressing. I might as well just open up an old game like Out of the Park Baseball 21 when they still cared.
Yeah. I still have good old clips from Out of the Park Baseball 2.
Oh, I reviewed every single one since the first one back in 1999. So I actually gave it a negative review, a mediocre review in 1999 because it was kind of buggy. And then I raved about it from Out of the Park 2 and on because then it really found its footing. So, but yeah, we're going to move on to Gaming Flashback. Go ahead.
Alrighty. Gaming Flashback, The Binding of Isaac. The Binding of Isaac is a 2011 roguelike action-adventure game designed by independent developers Edmund McMillan and Florian Hemsel. It was initially released for Microsoft Windows and then ported to OS X and Linux. The game's title and plot are inspired by the biblical story of the Binding of Isaac.
For those who don't know, God told Abraham to sacrifice his son, Isaac, and at the very last seconds, God said, no, I just wanted to test your faith.
Mm-hmm. Isaac, in the game, Isaac's mother receives a message from God demanding the life of her son as proof of her faith. And Isaac, fearing for his life, flees into the monster-filled basement of their home, where he must fight to survive. Players control Isaac or one of the other 6 unlockable characters through a procedurally generated dungeon in a roguelike manner, fashioned after those of the Legend of Zelda. Defeating monsters in real-time combat while collecting items and power-ups to defeat bosses and eventually Isaac's mother. Team Meat released it without much fanfare to Steam in September 2011, not expecting many sales. The game soon gained popularity partially as a result of various Let's Play videos showcasing the title. McMillan and Hemsel himself released an expansion called Wrath of the Lamb in May 2012, but were limited from further expansion due to limitations with the Flash platform.
Yeah, I did not know that the game was originally just a Flash game.
Yeah, like Newgrounds era. They there's so much good stuff that came out of that era too. Like obviously the Behemoth, but there's a lot of stuff that's coming out nowadays that is coming from artists that got their start there. It's impressive to see. I've actually talked to some very recently, but they had started working with Nintendo in 2012 to release a 3DS version, but Nintendo later backed out of the deal, citing controversy over the game's religious themes, which is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. A lie because we've seen many Nintendo games have religious themes.
Yeah,
there must have been something about money.
I don't know that would happen now. Like maybe then.
No, it didn't because guess what? It's on Switch.
Yeah, that's true. So eventually, something turned around. Developer Nicholas worked with McMillan in 2014 to complete a remake of the game, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, adding features McMillan had planned that exceeded Flash's capabilities, as well as to improve the game's graphics and enable ports for other systems beyond personal computers, including PlayStation 4 and Vita, Xbox One, Wii U, Nintendo 3DS, and the Nintendo Switch. The Binding of Isaac has been well received with critics. Yeah. The Binding of Isaac has been well received, with critics praising the game's roguelike nature to encourage repeated playthroughs. By July 2014, McMillan reported over 3 million copies had been sold. The game has been said to contribute to renewed interest in the roguelike genre from both players and developers.
Yeah, The Binding of Isaac set off the roguelike revival.
Yes.
So many games came from it.
It is incredible to think of. Just like it is one of those things like Braid and the Xbox Summer of Arcade that like there's so much that came as a result of those things happening. And I think Binding of Isaac is one of those inflection points in indie gaming history. Like I'm not a particularly big fan of Binding of Isaac just because I don't like I'm not crazy about the art style. It ooks me. But
Yeah, he has a definite style. Now, keep in mind, according to Edmund McMillen, The Binding of Isaac was also therapy for himself because he suffers from bipolar, but I know he's often depressed. And unfortunately, his kids have the same mental issues, which is why he made Eugenics to deal with it.
I completely respect the games as a therapy mentality. Like, that's an incredible thing.
You reviewed that Dragon Cancer, of course you do.
Yeah, like that's true. Yeah, like and it's cool to hear that these games are the result of him turning something like a problem into something incredible. Because despite my disinterest in The Binding of Isaac, I will say it is an incredible game that set an archetype that a lot of roguelike follows.
Yeah. The edition of Binding of Isaac with everything in it is still $60.
Wow.
Yeah. The other thing is, there's a reason why we have Super Meat Boy 3D, which a lot of people do not like because it looks like ass and the controls are ass, and there's a lot of people who like it, but a lot of people do not like it at all.
I tried to blank it out of my mind, but I reviewed the game, and gotta say, Super Meat Boy speed with a Z-axis is really painful. I do not like it.
There's such a thing as hard, but you have to be hard and fair.
Dude, I can tell you, I had countless times where I'm decent at platformers. I know how to get through a pretty hard level. I've played some pretty mean Mario Maker levels. I've done no-hit boss runs in Hollow Knight Silksong. But you know what will piss me off so much, so fast, is when a level turns into like side-scrolling, but you still have to worry about the Z-axis because if you don't like correct a little bit, you might fall off the front or the back of the platform and die and go back to the beginning. I hate it. I hate that so much.
There's a reason why Super Mario Brother Galaxy is designed the way it is.
Oh God, it's like when you throw the chaotic motion of, because it does have that Super Meat Boy motion. It does have that speed. It does have that like slight floatiness about his jumps and stuff, but like momentum. But when you throw a third degree in a dimension,
the other thing that people don't like is the floatiness of the controls. They aren't really precise.
Yeah, I mean, like it plays like Super Meat Boy, but when you throw a third dimension into that, it sucks. It's too much.
The reason, and I was going to bring it up, there's a reason why Edmund McMillen is not at Team Meat anymore, and that is because they thought that they would rather have another Super Meat Boy game than Eugenics. And now Eugenics is blown up.
It's wild. Like, I think that the level does...
Oh, that's another thing. By the way, the game doesn't have anything of Edmund McMillen's touch to it. That's the other problem.
That's not particularly true. I think that it does capture the vibe. I think that it does the level design well. Though. It has the level design. It even has the control. It's just the fact that when you put that speed and that momentum and a third axis in there, it makes too many stupid things happen. There's too much chaos is what its problem is. The level design is pretty fun. The music is awesome. The scenarios and the animations, I like them. I like what they did with the 3D visual style of Super Meat Boy. I wish it was a 2.5D game because like it's too chaotic.
When Sonic goes to 3D, it switches between 3D and 2D now.
Yeah. And like I said, there's a lot of sections here where you got to like play like it's a 2D level because you're moving left to right, but there you still have to worry about the Z-axis and falling off the front or the back of the stage. And that's annoying. Really annoying. Yeah. Ugh. This game was super frustrating. And I understand that's kind of the point, but it's frustrating in a way.
No, but here's, like I said, you can have a Souls-like, which is extremely difficult, but so long as it's fair.
A game can frustrate me as long as it's fun. This got to a point where I was like, I've seen enough. I'm done.
So Palworld, More Than Just Pals, is going to be a real game. For those who don't know, 2 years ago on April Fools, they did a Palworld dating sim,
Oh no.
and now they're going to releasing a pal dating game.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's too far with your April Fool's joke.
Here, let me read you the description of the game. Where is it? They had one here. Come on, where's the stupid? Oh, I'm going to go back here. An exciting school life with cute pals. Will you remain friends, or fall in love, or dismantle and eat them? Your dream school romance starts here. Wait a minute. Are they going to actually have human? Are they going to have bestiality? Because are pals dating, or are you dating animals?
I see a human there, so that's kind of weird.
Imagine Ash fucking Pikachu.
Yeah, that's not okay.
We also have Pal Farm, which is actually announced as well, in which you can have your farm with pals working on it, and you can beat them if they're not working hard enough. Huh. They have some really strange heads over there. Palworld developers, just weirdos. I mean, I guess they saw Pokemon and said, you know what, I would really like to see Pikachu with an AK-47.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I guess they've made a little bit of a name for themselves off of being.
Yeah, by giving Nintendo the middle finger. Yeah, definitely.
So why not? I guess why stop there?
I mean, here's the thing. People want to see what Team Game Freak would do if they actually put some effort into Pokemon. And Palworld has Pokemon who look good, and the environment looks good, and they're doing things that are new. The only way to get someone to improve is to have competition.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tim Sweeney, Epic Games fired about 10,000 people the other day, and now he's apologizing profusely for cutting off a life insurance for a laid-off worker who had terminal brain cancer.
Sleazy. Everything about it.
No, he apologized. Here's the thing: is that he's talking to the family and making sure that they have their life insurance and all that stuff. But you know what? There's 9,999 people who aren't going to be getting money for food. Are you going to send them care packages too?
Yeah, maybe if the firing process hadn't been so entirely automatic, then maybe they wouldn't have gotten rid of someone like that in the first place, so that he didn't have to do this stupid publicity stunt.
Yeah,
that's like he made this problem. He made this problem himself. So like, I can't give him credit for that. I can't give you credit for putting a Band-Aid on a gash you caused. Like, that's so dumb. I hate it.
Another company has fired 30,000 people because they're trying to save money for their data center, even though half the data centers are not even close to being started. The more they try to prop this up, the more the harder the bubble's going to burst.
Yeah, and they're bringing in like a fraction of the jobs that they get rid of.
And here's the thing: companies don't want it. Companies have been not using their AI services. So what happens is you have people try to pump up something that no one wants. It's like crypto, Where does it end? Who knows? When they explode. And who was it? Oh yeah, OpenAI stiffed Nvidia on their RAM purchases. So there's that.
Crazy.
So where are the $100 billion going to go? You could have given every adult in the United States $50,000 what's it called, with that 100 billion, and it's just going up in flames. I want my $50,000 check. The money that you wasted, I could get so I could spend on your products.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's not bursting fast enough. I fully believe that it's coming, but it's not happening fast enough.
Are you going to buy Google's 100-year bond?
No. I do not expect to be around for 100 more years.
I don't expect Google to be around for another 10 years of the way this is going. It's just... But yeah, at least the wife and her family are going to at least get some medical help until Tim Sweeney sees that no one's watching again. State of Decay 3 opens up alpha testing. I tried to sign up, but the Discord link doesn't work. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just hoping it's not a live service game. I think that's why it's taking so long, because it was a live service game, and they said, "Oh wait, live service games aren't working. Let's turn it back into just a co-op multiplayer optional game."
Yeah,
last thing we heard of it was in 2024.
Yes, I remember. I thought I remembered this game being announced, and it's been a long time.
It was announced in 2019, and then a trailer happened in 2024. So it's moving forward. Like I said, I played the shit out of State of Decay 2, so I have my fingers crossed. I'm just worried about this game.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Perfect Dark.
Yeah, and it's like they just announced this out of the blue and didn't really... They haven't really done any big reveals of...
Undead Teams has been working on just one thing all this time, so it's not like they were split off something to work on something else.
Yeah.
I just hope it's like eugenics and it's like a bomb. Anyways, the news is kind of boring. We only have one major news, and that is Xbox Game Showcase 2026 promises huge game news and a dedicated World of Gears of War E-Day segment. The time and the date for it is set, Sunday, June 7th at 10 a.m. PST. And oh, by the way, that's usually when that would be normally pre-E3s, but E3 doesn't exist anymore. It was always the Sunday before E3 that I would go to the Microsoft press conferences. As in previous years, the broadcast will be a doubleheader, first resembling with a typical game showcase broadcast before transitioning into deep dives to some of Xbox big upcoming games. We're promised first gameplay looks and huge news on upcoming titles in our first-party studios across the Xbox family. And in the former, according to Xbox Newswire, there'll be an extended look at Gears of War E-Day on the latter. This is the upcoming origin story for Gears of War, which is rumored to be out later this year. It obviously focuses on Emergence Day, which is something that happened way in the past when you play the first Gears of War. And it's when the Locust burst out of the ground. And you'll get to see Marcus Phoenix and Dom San Diego start their romance.
Yeah, so...
I also know Carlos Farrell, by the way.
I'm interested to see where they go with this, because we haven't had good Gears of War in a while.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a weird amount of time since we heard from the Gears of War series, but yeah, sure. Let's see what they do.
Question is E-Day going to come out for the PlayStation? Even if it's a timed exclusive. I have a feeling
it'll stay on Xbox for a while, and then eventually, like maybe after 6 months, come to PlayStation.
No, I mean maybe even more, like 10 years, because they already have Gears of War on PlayStation. They shoved out Gears of War. It's an old game but with a new audience. The other thing people are wondering is, are they going to show anything about Project Helix? You know? With the rumors that the PlayStation 5 is going to be Pro is going to be anywhere between $900 and $1,200. Suddenly, the Project Helix being $900 doesn't seem like all that much now, does it?
Yeah.
There was a small snippet that I was really excited for, and that is this. Heroes of Might and Magic, the olden era, is going to be on Game Pass, PC Game Pass, which I'm really happy about because I'm a huge Heroes of Might and Magic fan.
Well, I'm interested in what the newest Gears will look like. I'm surprised that that's like the only thing that they said that they're gonna be. I mean, it's the only thing that they specifically called out, which I found interesting, just because, like, Forza Horizon 6 is still happening, Fable's still happening, and I kind of hope we see more of them there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We still don't know what Sony's going to talk about. It's kind of an awkward time for Sony to talk.
Yeah, they just acquired a new studio for for. Have you seen that? That was yesterday. They acquired a new studio for that does like AR, VR, cinematographic technology and generative AI video technology.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking, oh, AR, VR, you're gonna have something for your PSVR 2 at last.
Yeah, no, not so fast.
Not so fast.
And Blue Point died for this.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. What a disappointment.
Yeah, there was something else on my mind. I'm trying to remember what I'm going to talk about. I mean, at least Marathon is hitting. I mean, Bungie just put out a patch that fixed an exploit that everybody was using, but also opened up a new way for people to get points.
Yeah, Marathon seems to be cooking in a way that I had not expected, but,
Let's put it this way. Bungie knows how to make a shooter.
They do, and that's what I was thinking, is that the Destiny fans that have been starved for good Destiny gameplay can now step over to Marathon for a while.
It's not only that. They still know how to make a compelling game. The other thing I was wondering about is, are they going to show more about Fable?
Yeah, that's what I would love to see more of Fable and Forza Horizon 6.
Forza Horizon 6 is coming out in May. It's unnecessary. What are they going to show? Oh, the new car packs?
They got to show some collaborative stuff, like whatever anime that they're collaborating with to bring a car to the game.
I do know that people were wondering about the Italian cars. They're going to be part of a DLC pack.
Like, I said that jokingly, but I actually do believe that it would be dope as hell if they did something like, there's a famous anime called Initial D that is all about driving. And if they had like cars or paints from that IP, sure that would be dope.
If not, people are going to just make their own. Because remember, in Forza, you can make your own graphics. Your car. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions that are going to be at the Xbox. I'm interested to see what Nintendo's going to be doing, and obviously Sony, because Sony at some point have to talk about the PlayStation 6. And what year are they going to say it's going to come out? Because everybody seems to think it's going to be coming out in 2029 now.
Yeah,
like I said, Sony's reportedly going to be pulling their PC games, or at least for hot titles. Their big new titles, because Microsoft decided, you know what, the Project Helix game will play PC games too. And Sony seems to equate that as breaking the console exclusivity. But I would think there have to be some boundaries to what they can do. Because I found out, to my surprise, that they're not going to make it with Steam integrated into it. And I'm hoping it's just not Windows Store games, because that would be ass. As much as I like Windows Store, it doesn't have many games in it.
Yeah. That Steam detail is going to be one that a lot of people pay attention to.
Yeah. Because if Microsoft... Oh, well, here's the thing. It may come back because we don't know what's happening with the Steam console.
Yeah, Steam machine.
We don't know what's happening with it. It might end up being like the Apple Pippin.
The last we heard, I think they pushed it back, and I think they had already pushed it back in expected launch window.
They're going to keep pushing it back, keep pushing it back, keep pushing it back, and soft cancel it. Although, there were Apple Pippins that were released. It was like 1,000 or something like that. So that might happen with a Steam machine. Oh, like 1,000 are released and that's it. I don't know how expensive they're going to be. They may just, and it's not like you can just wait until the RAM things the RAM prices drop, because it doesn't work that way. I don't know. We're in a very strange period of video game history. It's sort of like COVID. You're just waiting for it to end.
Yeah. It's a very odd time, and it feels very wasteful. I'm really hoping for that end to come sooner than later.
This bubble is the worst than anything. It's worse than the housing bubble. It's worse than the .com bubble by a country mile.
It's just frustrating too, because it's so blatantly obnoxious, egotistic, wasteful, and trying to sell something that nobody cares. Like it's trying to sell something that's blatantly bad, and like spinning it up in glitz and glam and making these wild promises, and all of it just sounds like shit.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear of the Evercade? It's a retro gaming handheld, the Nexus, and it's bundled with Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2.
Huh.
It's just one of those handheld things, but you can put carts in it at least. There's a limited Evercade Nexus 64 edition. So, like I said, there's not much news going on. It's just except for the things we don't want to hear about. Pokemon Pokopia is really is starting to move forward too. They're now partnering with IKEA.
Yeah, Pokemon Pokopia might be like, it might be like the it's definitely a mover for the Switch too. Like it's probably the loudest mover that they've had in a while.
I think it's going to be sort of akin to oh god, what's his face? That PlayStation platforming game. Remember with Sackboy?
Oh, Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet. Yeah, it might be that. It's going to flare up and then it's going to fade away.
Nah, it has a lot of potential to be like Tears of the Kingdom, just because of the things that you can put together and make work.
Why play Pokopia? Why play Pokopia when Minecraft exists, except for the fact that you have Pokemon in it? And here's the thing: it really needs you to be emotionally invested in Pokemon, because when you select a Pokemon, they don't have any. Nothing makes them different. They don't have any special powers or abilities. It's just like, oh, this is my favorite Pokemon.
They literally all have individual personalities based on the creature.
Yeah. By the way, this is probably a week. Go ahead.
There are a lot of elements here that are similar to Minecraft, but there's also a lot of things that aren't. It has its own rules, and like the stuff that people are building isn't entirely like Minecraft, because it's a builder's game. And like Dragon Quest Builders was also different from Minecraft in the way that you could do things. They're similar, but they're not the same.
So you probably already know this. I think this is like a week old, but they're finally talking about is that this is an Xbox ad campaign is done, and they realized they said this does not feel like Xbox, and also it offended many Xbox employees, and I can see why. When you're holding up a TV or a cell phone saying this is an Xbox, why the fuck would you want to buy an Xbox then? And people working on making the Xbox would say, well, why are we making a console in the first place if you can do this crap? Now, the new person who's taken over Phil Spencer, Asa Sharma, she's so far not been what people have been worried about. Her ideas on Xbox have been pretty intelligent, and she's basically Xbox first and foremost, as a console. So who knows? This may be maybe what Microsoft needed. I don't know because we're not asking me in 2028, but they're going hard right now on saying yes, there's a console. You know, we're still a console company. You know, their campaign may have hurt console sales. You know, it may have not allowed it to move forward. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what it ends up looking like. I don't know how close a reveal of the Helix is, but like I want to. It also just feels very early to figure out those details. I want to see I want to know what this thing is actually supposed to look like and do.
I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. Probably on June 7th, they'll do what they did with the Xbox SX back when it wasn't Scorpio. That was the next gen Xbox One. I forgot what the code name was for the SX. But what they will do is they will tell you how many teraflops it has, how much power it has, all that stuff. I know that the PlayStation 6 won't be able to run Grand Theft Auto 6 at 60 frames. It's going to be 30 frames like everybody else. But could you imagine if they said, oh, by the way, you can play Grand Theft Auto in 60 frames with the Helix? Because remember, this is a PC. This is basically a PC in Xbox clothing. But like I said, with the RAM crisis right now, I don't know what's going to happen with it.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything for a good while. We might get reveals of like what they'll look like, but I don't know if I expect anything for a long time.
I would laugh if they just made it a green Xbox SX. Same form factor, except it's green. Actually, that would be kind of dope. I would love it if the PlayStation 6 was blue and the next Switch was red. So it's not only the logos that are green, blue, red, but it's also the consoles themselves. And imagine owning them. If you owned all three, you have this red console, this blue console, and this green console. It'd be like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
You're going to have to take out a second mortgage to own all three of the big three in the next generation.
If Sony was smart, and I know Microsoft, they would do what Microsoft did with the SX, and that would be they had this deal with GameStop in which you could buy an Xbox Series X but pay $30 a month for it for 2 years. And it came with Game Pass because you were paying for the Game Pass with it. So that might be the way consoles go, by the way, in the future, like you do with your cell phone. Most people don't pay for their entire cell phone at once. I did because I'm insane. But most people just opt to pay $50 a month for their cell phone. It could be that the console could be your next cell phone, You pay it in installments. It'd be cool. I mean, that wouldn't be... and here's the thing, and I think we talked about this already. I don't mind if this console generation lasts a long time. Let it last a long time. I don't care. There's not much more you can do with consoles right now except make them more frames per second.
Yeah.
The graphics don't need to improve. Did we ever?
Yeah. I don't know what the next generation is supposed to be at this point, outside of like the whole PC console thing.
Oh, the other thing is that NVIDIA walked back their DLSS AI shit because everybody hated it.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag because Jensen Huang also said that people just didn't know what they were looking at, which is a great.
We knew what we were looking at. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, it's great to tell people like that their eyes are lying to them.
Are they kidding me? We were completely wrong. No, we saw.
Capcom was like, we are not using DLSS 5 and Resident Evil, and we are not using generative AI in our games.
What? Oh, well, Ubisoft probably said, oh, yes, we love it, please.
Yeah, Ubisoft doesn't have anything to say about it because they already going ahead and said that
they want it so bad.
Yeah.
crypto didn't work. The NFTs didn't work. Might as well try this AI thing. I showed you the one game in which the DLSS 5 completely removed the character because it was cell shaded. They keep on trying to fit AI into shit where it don't belong.
Yep, it's gross.
They're trying to find solutions to problems that don't exist. That's what tech people do all the time. We're trying to find solutions to problems that don't exist. Oh, a juicer? Let's give it Wi-Fi. It's a piece of shit juicer, but it has Wi-Fi. So stupid. Anybody who wants to see how stupid these people are, look up Juicero. That was a hot mess. Anyways, like I said, there's not much news this week, so look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net. Along with the industry news and our gaming history articles we enjoy. If you like, leave us comments on our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. iTunes comments. You can find me on Blue Sky at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
And we will see you next week when Scott wakes up.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all. All right.